don't mind trying to set it up.
Okay, everybody, Emery is getting the live set up, and she's going to have to take my phone to share it to the Patreon, the link to the Patreon group and family.
That's good enough.
And once that's done, we will get the comments open where we can actually see what you're saying. But right now, we can't see what you're saying. The live tonight is just going to be Jesse, of course. As you all should know by now, Lucky is at the vet hospital in Columbia. And we'll be talking about all of that tonight. And luckily for us, me and Emery both got a full night's sleep last night.
Yep. It was
First,
very nice.
first time since last Sunday. We just checked on Jesse. Actually, I did get up twice and check on Jesse last night, but I had to go to the bathroom anyway. And
I looked like twice, but she just didn't seem like she was.
yeah, she wasn't doing anything. She's not doing anything tonight either. It's not going to be tonight, from what I can tell. But I just thought, probably to everybody watching the lives, it just feels like a day or two, because it has been a day or two since we did a live. But to me, it feels like it's been a few months.
Right.
Because we've been so busy.
It feels like it's been at least like a week to me. So I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to update everybody.
Yeah. It's funny you feel that way too, huh?
Yeah.
Even after one good night's sleep, after losing sleep for 3 nights, you still are a little wore out and exhausted. You know.
Well, it's accumulative. It's like not. It's
Yeah.
We were up, so when we did not go to sleep, and then we drove. What time did we get home? Like 6 something in the
No, it
morning
was 7:30 or 8 in the morning.
when we got home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we didn't sleep that day either. We just
Well, we got home and
had
we
stuff
were
to.
waiting on a call. We were supposed to get a call from them, and they made it sound like it would be like 40 minutes or an hour, and it was like hours later, and we got home. We were still waiting on the call, so we couldn't go to sleep. I
Yeah.
couldn't sleep. I guess we should just, once everybody gets on here, just kind of go over the whole story and or answer questions.
There's only 369 people so
We'll
far,
wait a
though. We
little
need to
bit. Yeah.
get it going. So about Jessie, she's looking pretty content and happy. Her milk udder is not very full.
She's got a big bag, but
She's
it's not full.
Yeah, the bulbs above the teats and the teats are kind of filled up, but the udder has a long ways to go to fill up. So we got to looking at the dates. Right now, she's at 345 days or 46?
45 tonight.
45. And my lifetime average for foxtrotters is 11 days short of a year, which will happen on April 1st, which also coincides with the next full moon here
Right.
in southern Missouri. So,
We're guessing that must
Yeah.
be what she's gonna do.
so for all of you that haven't heard from the previous lives, I always like to pick the full moon for when I'm estimating a horse will go, because it just seems like it has a way of getting them to go into labor, has more pull on them.
Did Beauty go on the full moon?
I don't remember.
I don't
No,
think she
she
did.
would. It was like a day or two away. It
Right.
was gaining, and
Right.
it was, starting to pull stronger. She just was extra ready, so it didn't take too much pull.
Right.
So, and my grandma always said that there's more boys born on full moons than girls. I don't know if that's true or not.
Everything that she said to me was always opposite, and she got very mad at me because I broke her
Yeah,
cycle.
but that's just because you're obstinate. And anything anybody tells you, you try to do the
I
opposite.
think so. The girls were born on full moons, and then Isaac was not born on. If I can remember right.
Does Bigfoot come out in full moon? Has everybody seen in the news how many Bigfoot sightings there were in Ohio last week?
I have not.
There was like a rash, and there was enough of them that they got verified and made the news, and the police were having to say stuff about all the different Bigfoots. That was pretty cool.
I haven't seen anything about that. I'll have to look it up. Also, Jessie, because she's been with Lucky, so I'm sure there's going to be a few questions about that, but she seems okay. She's calm and is not stressed. She's totally fine. She just wants more food, more alfalfa. She has completely stopped eating the other hay she has, and she only wants alfalfa.
Yeah, that's a problem. The orchard grass has not worked really well for us this year.
No, we
I
got a
think
bad batch or something.
no, I just think
They do not like it.
yeah, I'm gonna try to find that Timothy again instead, or brome or something. I don't know. They
They'll,
eat the fescue, but it's not good for them.
you know. Well, she can't have fescue right now. So all she's wanting to eat is alfalfa, but she kind of needs a mixture of stuff.
If everybody would hit the like button and help this live grow, we'd appreciate that. Then we'll get on to the topic at hand, talking about everything we saw and did with Lucky.
It's hard to do this without seeing the camera. Chair up here.
Yeah, we're really glad Jessie didn't go that night. She was acting a little bit like she was having contractions right when we left and we're loading up. So
And yeah, she just did that a little bit that night, and she hasn't done it since, or she didn't do it before. So
she
that
didn't
was
do it last night.
yeah,
She's
it's
not
strange.
showing it tonight. So
Six-
Jessie is a liver chestnut. That's what color she is. Liver chestnut. That's what I've always called it anyway.
Okay. I mean, we have 600 people. They're all asking questions about Lucky, huh?
Are you fine about vet bills now? Yes, we are.
Yeah,
We're
we
set.
have been, yeah. Thank you so much. We're
It was
blown away.
we actually were not even
can you
going to
fix it?
do a GoFundMe. We were just gonna
We hadn't even thought. Yeah, we haven't thought
we're like,
about
well,
it.
we'll just assign all the Patreon support to the bills until they're paid off. But people literally
Look at it
just,
again.
without being asked, started sending us money in different ways, and we're like, whoa, 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 whoa! Don't just send us money. We need a way to keep track of this stuff and stuff. So we're like, I guess we'll set up
We've never
a
used.
GoFundMe because there's
Right.
some tax benefits to that too.
Right.
Because we can assign it right to the vet bill from there.
And we would
And,
never imagined that
yeah,
that
and-
would happen. We were not anticipating it or thinking. It's blown me away.
The thumbs up button is the same as the like button.
Okay. So where do you want to start, JR?
Okay, so I guess I'll tell a little bit of the backstory. For those of you that know, the first live that we did on Sunday, it was the first one for a while, was a full watch, and it was because Lucky had been laying down out in the paddock, so I brought her in and set up the pins. She was rolling quite a bit. I think she had rolled 5 times. And off camera to Emery, I told her, I said, I'm a little worried about this rolling
Yeah.
because I had a mare that had a full die inside of her and she rolled a bunch. I said, now, what we need to watch for, I said, as soon as a foal dies, their temperature will spike. So I didn't tell all of you guys that because there's so many more signs and that you need to that correlate with it. And rolling, I don't want it to get in your guys' mind that when a pregnant mare rolls, that it's an
Right,
emergency
'cause they
because
all do.
every single pregnant mare has to roll to position the baby to get it in the birth canal. The difference between rolling for a dead baby inside and rolling to get in the birth canal is the aggressiveness of the rolls, and the rolls are all the way over, front to back, side to side, and they don't stop. They'll go on for days until the baby comes out. So Luckies were aggressive, but they weren't all the way over. They did stop. They only started in the evening, which is very typical of the Braxton Hicks rolling to get a position. And if you notice on the lives, I started tracking her temperatures. and her temperature was always actually about a half a degree low.
Yeah.
A normal temperature is 101 and below, and hers were 98. So I'm like, okay. And then I had those conversations with the vet, and told him about the fluid. He said, so another sign for the fluid would be if it starts getting blood mixed in with the mucus fluid that was coming out, and the mucus plug was completely clear. And the vet did tell me offhand, he goes, if you were worried about that and the foal is dead, all you can do is wait for her to go into labor anyway. Or not all, but we would want to wait a couple days for her to go into labor because they need to try to expel it naturally because she will birth it if it's dead. And he was out of town. He called me from his vacation. He says, we'll get together first thing Thursday. Well, we didn't make it to Thursday. Plus, the mucus was clear, and he told me to keep watching her temperature, and if her temperature goes up, and then plus the final sign that really made us think she was just positioning the baby was she was perfectly comfortable during the daylight. Outside, she wasn't laying down and rolling a bunch. But it was in the back of my head, and I was monitoring it because of those fears, and those fears manifest. So then I started checking, and on that night that I said we were going to go live on Patreon, and I walked down to the barn. As soon as I got down to the barn,
Yeah.
I saw another sign, and I said, oh, we're not going live. We're going to get a vet. And it was that there was a little bit of tissue sticking out her opening instead of a hoof. You should see a hoof or a bubble first. You might see a bubble, which is the amniotic sac coming out with some fluid in it, and it's clear. And then right behind that would be the first front hoof. Or you might see the front hoof first. Either way, those two are both perfectly fine. What I saw was a flat placenta-looking tissue. And I was like, oh, this isn't good. If there's blood or a placenta coming out first, that means you've had hypoxia, which is basically the baby won't have oxygen at that point. It'll be gone. So at that point, I knew it was an emergency. So I immediately lubed up with rubber glove and went in to feel what was in the birth canal. And I found the baby's muzzle right away, and the muzzle was presenting correctly, meaning forehead towards the coccyx bone or towards the top of the pelvis and the chin down. I felt all around its mouth, grabbed its tongue, put my finger in its mouth, trying to feel if it was alive. If you can get to the eyeballs, it's better than the mouth, but the mouth will tell you. And I saw no signs of life. But then I'm like, okay, well, the feet should be on either side of the head, coming forward, and I felt side to side, and I did not feel. I went all the way past the cervix because her nose was sticking past the cervix, so I went just a little bit past that, and I knew it was not good. So we called our vet, who was still on vacation, to see who he would recommend. Didn't get him. Called the emergency vet hotline around here. Didn't get anybody. Called another vet that was recommended to us that only does traveling, doesn't have an office, and they're a large animal vet, and sent them a picture. And called the emergency hotline at the hospital, and just said, hey, we're coming. And 20 minutes later, we had everything ready to go and loaded up and went.
She also was kind of just like, so it was really weird because she was fine that day because we were watching her very closely. And during that live, or I can't remember if it was during the live or before, she was eating. And she was actually, I had just said, like, looked at her and I was like, oh, she seems more like normal in her actions and stuff. She ate her dinner, and then all of a sudden in that life she just laid down and started doing that. But by the time like we'd ended it and like we were watching her and stuff, she was laying there and like not moving, and it just looked like she was kind of giving up too. And that really spurred us into like, we got to go. We got to get her up there. So
Yeah.
she did really good on the drive up there. We stopped a couple times, like really quick checks, and looked at her. She She didn't lay down or anything. She did really good
Yeah.
going up there. And
So
yeah.
here's back to what we think the problems were, what we did, and if we did anything wrong or not. And
Yeah.
here's the deal. So that rolling and stuff probably did start as trying to position the baby, and the front legs were in a the knees were forward and then crooked back under her instead of like the upper part of the arm was forward and the knees were back instead of the upper arms of being back and she just couldn't get it turned over with the knees coming with the head, and basically the baby twisted and turned and the knees got locked back where they couldn't come forward into the birth canal, and that's what caused the placenta to detach. So
And that's what
that
we
just
were told up
happens
there
in
too.
about 1 out of every 100 births. The vet said there's nothing they could do about that. Now the things about her pelvis being too small to deliver, that could be because the baby died before she was ready to deliver. The baby died when she was ready to get it in position
So
for
her body
probably an
wasn't ready. Right.
April 1st timeline birth,
Yeah.
okay?
So her body just wasn't
So
ready. Yeah.
the hormones then stop that tell her pelvis ligaments to relax. There's a ligament at the bottom of the pelvis that holds it tight together. Well, if the right or correct hormones don't happen to tell everything to relax, her having a tight, small pelvis on top of not having the correct hormones didn't let it open up. So at that point, that first night, if you remember, there was people saying, "Take her to the hospital now." Even though it was a possibility and had crossed my mind, there was all those other signs that were good, and we still would have wanted to wait because possibly her body could have processed or prepared more to birth a dead foal by Sunday
Right.
or by Thursday or whatever, or by whenever this emergency happened, which she obviously did. She got ready to have to try to go into labor and got that head up all the way past the cervix naturally. If the front legs hadn't been the cause of the placenta detaching in the first place and the baby was dead for a different reason, she would have gotten the front legs and the nose up there and probably would have birthed the dead foal. That's what happened 25 years ago when I had this happen. So this is the second time this has happened to me in my life. Like I said, the first one was with Lightning, the black mare that my mom had that we just put down this winter from old age. And like I say, it was probably 20 years ago, 21 years ago, 22 years
I was
ago.
pregnant with Mary. It was right before I
Yeah,
had
so
Mary.
22
So
years ago.
no, 20. It's 21.
Yeah. So basically, for all there's nine 99.9% of the comments were positive, but there was a few today that were saying it was totally our fault and we shouldn't be allowed to own horses, blah, blah, blah.
Well, yes,
And
we should have gone sooner. That type of
so
stuff. Yeah.
that's basically anybody that's on the fence on whether or not we did anything wrong. Just know we weren't telling you every possibility of every negative situation. We were just managing and trying to teach what we could. But overall, I don't think it was just a fluke, just
Well,
bad
that's
luck.
what that
She
we
had the,
asked them up there, the vets
yeah.
and stuff, and then that's
They
they
said, no,
said
yeah.
there's it's just
They said,
they
you've
literally
done
said
it.
it's just a fluke. There's not
Yeah, they
exactly
said, you've done
anything.
everything right. You've
Yeah.
had every feed, they were asking us questions on feed and supplements
But yeah, they asked us
and vet
everything.
checks, and then they asked us about temperatures. Well, what's our temperature been? And when we had a chart of the temperatures, they're like, "Wow, you guys are amazing." They're like, and before we bred Lucky, we were worried because she always had tight hips and tight
Yeah.
pelvis when I was in her show career. So we actually had the vet check her pelvis before we even bred her. So we did a pre breeding
Predge.
like viability check
preparation.
with her preparation check. So we did everything we feel we could. The last thing I wanted to talk about her breeding her is people. There's the only other negative comments, and don't let me think I'm focusing on the negative because this, you
More like
the
questions from
community, yeah,
people, I
it's
think.
questions. You can only learn when you ask the hard questions. So that's what I'm trying to address. Because this community has been great about praying for Lucky and helping us for Lucky and understanding how hard it's been for us. Everything's been great.
Yeah.
But the other question is, well, this is like the kind of the question that we're getting is like, well, this is what you get for breeding. When there's this many horses in the world, you shouldn't be breeding anyway. And I agree. Just any old average horse shouldn't be bred. But Lucky is not an average horse.
Not
She
at
is a
all.
multiple world champion, multiple reserve world grand champion, multiple youth champion, and forget showing, she's the gentlest, sweetest, smartest, just perfect horse that you could ever have as a pet. And then then on top of that, she's out of the best stallion in our breed. On top of that, it's the best breed in the world, in my opinion. The Missouri Foxtrotter is the best breed in the world. If you've never rode one, you got to put it on your bucket list. To ride one is to own one, they say. And the breed is endangered because it's only right here in Missouri. Is like it's shrinking because of smartphones and it's a dying breed. So we need to breed these good ones like this. Don't breed your non-registered horses, horses you don't have a personal plan for. And if you have the money and space to adopt, that's a great thing. But if you only have money for one horse, or if you're not a trainer but you want to feel safe, you need to go to a reputable breeder with the right bloodlines and the right breed of horse and have one horse.
Mm-hmm.
That means you need to have a horse that's bred on purpose for a purpose, not be adopting one. If you're going to adopt one, you better know how to handle horses. You better know how to train, and you better have room and money to go through 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 before you get your forever horse, because not every one of them is going to be great. So that's my spiel for tonight. And I'm getting thirsty and my throat's getting dry, so I'm going to let Emery take over now, and I'm going to go get a drink.
So we got up there with Lucky. I think it's hard to remember times exactly, but about 2, maybe right before 2, and they went right to work on her, and literally this team worked on her for 24 hours, or wait, from 2 at night until 2 in the afternoon the next morning, and they didn't stop. That's how long she was. She wasn't under that whole time. For a couple hours when we first got there, they tried to get the full out without her being under. They were trying to bring the foal's legs forward, and they had major issues doing that. And she was such a good girl. She just stood there. It was unbelievable, like how willing she knew. I guess she knew she needed the help. And once they got the legs forward, they tried pulling the full out, but they just couldn't get it. They tried a few different techniques. Then they didn't, and they're trying all this as elimination, because like if they can get the full out without putting the mare under, that's going to be best. If they can get the full out without having to do surgery, that is obviously going to be even better. So they did all of these steps of elimination trying to get this full out, and they could not get out. After they put her under, we were with her the whole time she was awake while they were working with her. But once they decided to put her under and try, I don't know if we want to tell them how they were getting the full out at that point, but once they put her under and wanted to get the foal out this other way, they did ask us, pretty much they asked us to leave. And they said, pretty much go home. So that's what we did. And but we were told, they would be in contact with us once, they, as the progress went. And how they told us, we thought like, within 40 minutes, an hour and a half, we would hear from them. And I think it was 5 hours, and we still hadn't. We still
5 hours when I called them, they were still inside of her.
we still
So they had
hadn't heard from them.
complications.
Yeah, so we called because we were like, well, maybe they got the wrong number or something like that. And they answered, and they were still in there working with her. And then I think very quickly after that, they gave us a call back and said they couldn't get it out, and we were just like floored. We could not believe it. And they wanted to do the C-section, so we had to make the decision. And we went ahead and did it. And with the C-section, the same situation happened. We thought, or we were under the impression from them that it wouldn't take too long. They'd be giving us a call back. It was hours and hours and hours later that we finally, I think we called again because we were like, what's going on? And they were still in there with C-section. And I guess the C-section went really well, but I think it took a lot longer for her to wake up and get on her feet. I think they must have had some trouble in that area. And so they don't call people back until the mare is on her feet and walking back to her stall. And it took Lucky a long time for that to happen,
Right.
but she made it. So she's...
Yeah, and the one good thing, so that was bad. That was negative. How long it took her to wake up and stand up.
Yeah.
The one good thing was the whole placenta came out whole,
Right.
which they usually don't on a death like this. So they got the
Right.
whole placenta out.
They were happy about that.
The latest, and I haven't even told Emery this, but I got another call this evening about her,
Oh.
and they have done the first uterine flush.
Oh, yeah?
So they did the inside the uterus examination this evening, and it went well, and nothing too disgusting or too putrid came out of the flush. So it's all looking good, and I can already tell that she's being sweet to people and beginning to become a favorite up there. So she's obviously gotten back to herself, and she's hungry. And I told them how hungry she is, so they said they'd feed her all she could eat.
So I had mentioned on a short earlier that you said they put ice on her legs.
Yeah.
Can you say what that was for? 'Cause
I didn't ask them
Oh.
like I should have,
Oh.
because I just kind of assumed I knew.
Oh.
But to me, there's a thing, what I'm guessing, this is a guess, but because sometimes I am a little arrogant on how much I think I know. But to me, first off, two things. When there's major trauma, gravity pulls trauma down, pulls fluid down to the lowest extremities of horses. The second thing is when there's major trauma, they can do a thing called stress founder.
Yeah, that's what I think it was.
And stress founder can cause laminitis, and also the stress and operation and putrid stuff inside of her can cause a high temperature. Well, a good, easy way to lower a temperature is through the legs with ice, and it would also protect. So I'd say all three of those things.
Yeah, 'cause
Laminitis,
they had mentioned
stress
laminitis being
factor,
one of the issues. Yeah,
gravity and temperature. So are the three reasons I think they did that.
right.
If there's any vets on here, chime in and tell me if I'm right.
Yeah. So that's kind of the story. That's what happened, and hopefully we're gonna bring her home in a week. Or they said a week or a little bit longer. And we don't really know like home care really that much, like what we'll have to do we know stall rest, and then after that it will be like round pen, and after that
Okay, there's a good
all
question.
that stuff. So yeah, what is it?
Winter's lady asks, how is laminitis different than thrush or canker? So they're not similar in any way. Laminitis is the turning down of the coffin bone inside of the hoof, and the separation of the lamina, which is the connective. Think of Velcro. A hoof is made out of a type of Velcro. If you ever dissected a hoof, where there's lines that run down the lamina and then horizontal lines that come off of that lamina. It almost looks like the needles of a pine tree, where the branches come out and the needles come off the branches. And that is the Velcro that attaches the living tissue to the keratin of the hoof. And that's separating. And while that separates, that lets the coffin bone turn down, and the coffin bone points down through the sole of the foot, and causes ouchie pain, as my wife would say, ouchie, ouchie
That is
pain.
what I would say.
Yeah, so that's what that is.
Somebody said, "Why did you not use a surrogate mare on such a good horse?" But it's
Oh,
just
we wanted. She's so sweet. She would have been a wonderful mother.
every horse is. I mean, mare wants to have a baby.
Yeah.
I mean, the chances of this happening are so low, like for a mare, and two, doing an embryo transfer and all of that. That, I mean, I don't know what it costs, but it's not easy by any means to do that.
It'll
Like,
be $4 or $5,000 plus. The only places to do it are
Yeah.
3 hours away,
So
and you have to
we-
go
so-
back and forth,
well,
back
that's
and
what I was-
forth,
yeah,
back and
so
forth.
we are
it's-
thinking
it's
about
real
doing
time.
it.
I'm definitely going to do it if I've already talked to. I asked the question today. I said, so this is going to be, we bring her home in a week. She's going to be going back multiple times this year to get back to 100%. So by the time she's back to 100% on one of those follow-ups this fall, I want to just wrap all of this care into doing an embryo transfer
But to do
or an egg flush.
to do an embryo transfer, I'm asking you, do you have to have the mare that, like,
She
do they
won't
save
be-
the egg or the
Yeah,
embryo, or
she won't be bred by a stallion ever again.
No, I know.
So what
like,
we'll do,
but do we have to have a mare there ready to receive the embryo?
yeah, and what I'll do
It's
is
all like a right then transfer. You don't save like the
Yeah.
egg. Oh, okay.
what we'll do is I'll talk to this vet about it this week. But in my mind, my plan would be not to breed Bernadette back right away, and we'll put Lucky and Bernadette on Regimate the 1st of September. Keep them on Regimate till the 3rd week in September. Pull them off. Give them the medication to cycle them at the exact same time, and then have her be the surrogate for Lucky. And then if she wants more than one to choose from, I might take like Amber will be the right age to get pregnant for the first time by then. So it could be Amber and Bernadette and
Yeah. But somebody just commented, "Oh my gosh, it's over $24,000."
yeah.
We actually do not know how much it costs yet. We don't know a ton about it
No,
either.
they're talking about the GoFundMe.
Oh, I thought they meant the embryo transfer. I was gonna say, oh well, we're not gonna be able to do that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Somebody said, why not Lady as a surrogate?
Lady is a good enough quality that I just assume
You
breed
would
Lady
rather
for
breed her.
herself.
Yeah. She's so. I got a video of her today.
So
like
like
for shorts
all
for you
of our
guys.
mares are good quality mares. Like
She's
Bernadette is a good quality foxtrotter. She's a registered horse, but she's just not
There's
to
levels.
it's not the same level as Lucky. That was the other thing I was going to explain, the difference in levels. So like quarter horses are much more common. So imagine this. Everybody can go buy a quarter horse for $2,000 at the next local sale. So wherever you are in America, there's a horse sale within 2-hour drive of you that happens monthly. And there'll be a $2,000 quarter horse at the next one. That quarter horse you buy is not going to go enter the highest $1 million quarter horse race and win it. There's just different levels. Lucky is that level of the best of the best. Bernadette would be more like the quarter horse that you're going to find at your local quarter horse breeder, you know, like she's a good foxtrotter. She's still a registered foxtrotter. She has good attributes, good size. She's going to put a little bit bigger size on our trail horses is why I wanted her. Her mother's a huge tank of a horse, in a good age and stuff, but
Right.
just not lucky. And Lady is, you know, really closely related to Lucky, so she's
Late
just got a
and
little bit more
Lady
quality.
has her own. Yeah, she has her own qualities that we want passed to her offspring. She is built very nice. She's just beautiful. I got a video today. It's not like the best video or anything, but I realized we haven't showed her for a long time, and she's just looking so good. I
Yeah,
wanted to show you guys.
there's another thing called ICSI. Maybe somebody in the comments can explain that because I really don't know what it is. I think it means instead of catching one embryo in an embryo transfer, so like in an embryo transfer, the mare is egg is fertilized with a needle through, you know, inside the mare or whatever, or and then that fertilized embryo is flushed out before it attaches to the uterine wall and caught and then put into another mare. In ICSI, I think they flush a bunch of eggs out and and I'm guessing now, I don't know. I think they fertilize those eggs in a petri dish.
Really?
Yeah, and you might have a half a dozen of them or a dozen
Huh.
and get all those embryos started and then put them into mares.
Can you pick out fillies and colts?
I don't know. But I'm
Colors?
not sure that's what ICSI is. I'm not sure. I haven't started studying it yet.
Huh. Weird. So, um, so the GoFundMe we're going to is the plan is we're going to pay Lucky's bills. We don't know quite
Yeah,
yet what they're going to be. They gave us like their a quote, but then it depends on how the week goes, and she was like not sure. So we'll find out
Here's
about
a good
that,
question too.
and then okay.
We'll go ahead and
Oh,
finish what
and
you're
then
saying though.
the rest we're thinking to try to do this embryo transfer is what we're thinking.
Yeah, but the vet bills are always substantially higher than we estimate.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So we just have to wait and see.
here's a good question. Will you induce Jesse soon? So our rule of thumb
Oh yeah.
for inducing a horse is they have to have multiple signs, 3 signs. The first sign is we do not, unless there's an emergency. So for a non-emergency case, I'm talking about, they have to be past 365 days for us to consider them late. Okay, so 345 days is ideal. My average is 354, but they have to be past 365. Then they have to have some sign of distress. And I have to ask Doc Berger. He has 3 laid out signs, what they are, and I don't remember what they are. But anyway, we've never got to all 3 signs
He
before.
said it's
We've
very
had
rare that
mares.
he induces
Yeah,
one.
we've
Pretty
had mares
much.
that went over 365 days, but were doing fine, and they had perfectly healthy births. So Jessie is nowhere near the realm yet.
She just hit the 345 days mark, which is your normal
Yeah,
gestation for
yeah.
a mare's birth. So she's not anywhere near to needing to think about anything like that at all.
How many days were Jesse's prior births? One of them was really close to the 345 or 354 date, my average, and the other one was early, and that's why we missed it. So, Emery, your horse. What's your horse's name again? Chantilly Lace.
Yeah, so to be honest, we didn't. This is the first year we're keeping really good track and and writing down the days of gestation, and we will from here on out.
Well,
We did
we
we
always had the date from the ultrasounds
right
though.
real yeah we always had the day from ultrasound that type of stuff, but like to tell you off the top of my head, I don't know, Jr. I'd have to kind of like look it up and figure out all that stuff. We didn't keep track of it good enough. Chantilly. We have a video of her. We may say it in the video how many days she was then,
Yeah.
but I don't know for sure.
From what I remember, it was right on where she was supposed
11
to
days
be.
short of a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that was right too. And she kind of looks like she's tracking to that this time too.
Oh, the other thing, I forgot one other thing that the vet told me. Her After a birth, a horse's uteruses contract pretty quickly compared to a human's, and Lucky's uterus is contracting correctly.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, poor girl.
Which is painful.
Yeah.
So she's uncomfortable from that.
Sweet girl. So somebody asked earlier if we're gonna go up and see her, and we're so busy. It's with you taking care of everything. It's hard. It is a drive up there, but I'm thinking if they allow visitors on the weekend, I might go up there, and then anybody else who wants to go with me. But we.
Not anybody else. Family members.
Oh yeah,
You're
not
gonna
you
have
guys.
so many YouTube people show up at your house.
I meant
Careful
JR
what
and the
you say.
kids. Just
Careful
JR and
what
the
you
kids.
say, Em.
I'm
Holy
uninviting
cow.
you guys. But we have to ask them if they allow visitors on Saturday, Sunday. I'm not sure. I think they do. But I think it would be good for us, good for her to see us.
I'm going to try something here. Let me see if I can do this.
Oh, it's lucky.
Yeah.
You gotta
So-
pull it back so it focuses.
People started
Oh,
sending
that's
me
making me
clips of
cry.
started sending me clips of me. So
Play
this is
again.
just random fans that saved clips.
Oh,
This was me showing her in 2022. That's her flat foot walk.
that's gonna make me cry too.
And then here is my victory lap. Because we had won the whole class. And like I say, this wasn't our videos. This is something people sent us because of what happened. And you heard the old man say, he's self-taught, talking about me and my training. Because
Ugh, that's hard to watch. So Lucky should be able to be rode again, though, right? Jr. is what
Yes.
but not.
Oh,
I
so-
don't. I don't think we can show.
yeah,
her.
she wasn't sound really to show anyway. Right now, her
Yeah, she hurt.
back legs
She
were
was in
hurting.
the video, but
Yeah.
But she hurt her back leg. And
Not bad,
Not
but
bad, but she has like some. I don't know.
enough to where I wasn't going to ask her to do that kind of effort before.
Right.
Because if you could see in that video, she's putting out 100% effort with every stride.
Right.
She was even grunting. I mean, she was awesome at how much
Yeah.
effort she would give me there. And
Yeah, with
Yeah.
her like the vet has approved her for like trail riding and stuff like that. Just we don't know
yeah,
if she could.
but
do
she'll be
showing
great
or
for
not.
teaching our grandbabies to ride and stuff. Because she's
Yeah.
kid safe, gentle. Like
Yeah.
we let really, really ignorant people ride her. she's
Just anybody can ride her.
Yeah, anybody can ride her,
Yeah.
and she's one of the only ones Emery feels safe riding. So I couldn't believe she will be safe to ride like that soon. They said
they
3
were telling
months.
us of
Three-
horses.
3 months.
3 months is
She
what they
could be
said,
riding.
but we'll give
We're
her
not
all
going to
the time
ride.
she
We're not
needs.
going to
We're
ride
not
her
gonna
this year,
push it.
though. We're not in any hurry.
Yeah,
as
we are
long as
not in a
she's.
hurry.
I almost slipped and said our grandbaby's name.
Becca
As
would
long
be
as
so
she's
mad.
ready to ride by the time this grandbaby's 3 or 4 years old, we'll do that.
Yeah.
So here's a contentious topic. Is Lucky going to grieve the loss of this baby?
Yeah.
I
I've been
think that's a
wondering.
human emotion, guys. I'm sorry. I don't think that they're smart enough to
Okay,
know.
hold on. I'm going to argue this.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Lucky right now, but I do not believe that is true.
Listen,
I have
she
seen
didn't know this
animals-
baby. She didn't get
hold
the
on, I'm not
chance
talking,
to bond
I'm not
bond
talking
with
about
it.
Lucky situation.
You're talking about
We've-
Princess the dog. She raised those puppies for
Princess the dog.
4 weeks.
I've seen no. Just let me talk for a second.
Okay.
I've seen multiple animals lose their babies and grieve. I had a sheep. She lost her lamb at birth. I had to pull it and it died. And she was so sad. She was she grieved like a whole year until she got pregnant again. She laid on the hill. She like had and
Yeah.
like she even had like water pouring out of her eyes, whether you want to say there were tears or not. I've seen our dog grieve, and I've seen multiple animals.
Right.
But the thing is with Lucky, is that she like I think she'll be okay in that sense
So
because like
here's
she didn't see the full
difference with Lucky is she didn't go into labor naturally.
right
She didn't have those hormones. She didn't
right
get to clean off the dead baby and bond with it or have the pitocin.
right, and that's a huge thing for the
and
animals.
the pitocin and the serotonin and everything that happens with the delivery,
Right.
those bonding chemicals that happen right after birth, none of that happened. And
So I don't think she's gonna be
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like horrible for her or anything. I do feel like whatever Jared wants to think is fine, but I do feel like she has some kind of knowledge about it because the horses aren't stupid about
yeah,
anything.
but she was a
But-
maiden mare too.
but, like,
if
is
she
she
was
gonna
a
go through depression?
experienced mother, I think it would have been more too.
Yeah, but I
Right.
don't think she's like gonna go through like depression or like she's not like looking for her foal or anything or like wondering where it is or nickering
Yeah.
or anything like that because she didn't get to experience getting ready having
The oxytocin.
yeah, the oxytocin like JR said,
the
the hormones and
oxytocin,
everything that
the
makes her connect with the foal.
serotonin, and there's a P one. I forget the name
Right.
of it, but anyway.
So
Plus, she doesn't have the knowledge of having been having been a mother before.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to grieve. Maybe.
it's
she might.
probably just an opinion. Each person has their own opinion about it too. I guess.
She might be traumatized from the experience.
Right.
There was a ton of trauma.
Who I can't blame her. That was insane.
Pitocin,
I've
yeah.
never seen anything like that in my life. How old is Lucky? She is just turning 12.
She'll turn 12 real soon, yeah.
Yeah. What about her milk bag? She actually didn't have she just had a tiny milk bag forming. So I think it's just gonna go like pit her away. She's not gonna get because she hadn't start like JR was just talking about the oxytocin and everything like that hadn't started fully forming for her. So I don't think
Yeah.
the milk bag is an issue. It will be an issue. She didn't have colostrum, nothing
So-
like that yet. So
The worst grief I've ever seen in an animal myself, though. Should I tell him that horrible story since I mentioned it?
I don't know it.
So one of my favorite dogs that we ever had together.
No, I don't want to hear this story.
Oh, okay. Well, I mentioned it. Now they have to go in the other room. So we had this wonderful dog. She was the same breed as Jewel, and really, I tell you, I actually love Princess. Was like one of my top favorite dogs of all time. I almost love Jewel as much as her, but not really. Princess was.
You love Jill.
I do love Jewel. I do love Jewel a lot, but Princess was extra special. And she raised a litter of pups. She had 6 of them. And the puppies were getting so rambunctious and playful that we were letting them just be out of a pen and be on the porch for the days. And one night I didn't put them up because I thought, oh, they're fine. And we were living on a different farm then, but it was just as secluded as this one. There's no worry about them being out and loose, and I knew Princess would take care of them. But we had an in-ground swimming pool, and I never even considered that because those dogs were so small they could fit between the gate latch
We had a fence around it, yeah.
yeah, and that gate. Well, they all got to playing over there by the pool and went between the gate latch and the gate. And when they got in the pool, there was no way for little puppies to get out. And that mama dog was laying with her front feet in the pool, looking at her babies and couldn't get to them. And she had able to keep 2 of them out, but she couldn't get to all of them.
It was
and
so sad. It was so sad.
it was she cried and moaned, and oh, it was awful.
It was awful. Okay, change the subject, Jared.
Yeah.
That was a dumb story to bring up.
Well, they were asking about grief. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, she did grieve for sure. 100% she grieved. People keep asking about how's Mary doing, and so Lucky is Mary's source, but it's more like she's our family source. We all love her very dearly. But the kids they're all doing good, and I think they're all just happy that we did the C-section and that Lucky's coming home. Because at that point, we were all out there in the barn, and I think they knew the foal was gone, and they just wanted Lucky to be safe. So,
Yeah.
and they're not now that I mean, they're not like over worried or anything like that. They just believe she's coming home. So
Yeah. Should be.
everybody's doing good.
I was conflicted on whether or not to do the surgery, not because of money. I was fine with spending the money on her.
Well,
But she
go
had
ahead.
they had been working on her for 12 hours,
Right.
and then they wanted to start this extensive surgery, and the poor horse was just gutted at this point. And then the surgery
Right.
is they cut through the side and abdomen of a horse. That is a hugely traumatic surgery. And I was like, I don't want to put her through it, but the vet really talked me into it. She's like, this is a really nice horse, and she's perfectly healthy. Like everything from her hooves to the tips of her ear is just the picture of health,
She
she
said
said.
she's a perfect
And
candidate.
she goes, I'm really good at this surgery. She's like, this is my specialty surgery. She's like, so I can almost promise you I can make her pull through it compared to what the statistics are of this surgery. And I said, well, if that's the case, then it must be meant to be. So go ahead
Right.
and do it.
Right,
But
because I had the same thoughts as Jared, because does Lucky even want us to do the C-section on her because of what does she? I couldn't. I don't know. Like, will she want to go on? But I am 100% sure we made the right decision for
well,
her and for
even
us.
but then the surgery took. They said the
It's,
surgery would take 2
yeah,
hours. It took like 10,
that
and then
was
they said it would take a little bit to get up, and it took all day to get up. I was thinking we made the
yeah.
wrong choice. I was, oh,
Yeah, we were just
I was
devastated.
like, oh, I wish I would have
couldn't
just put her
even.
down. But then now she seems to be getting happy again already.
Yeah.
So I guess 4 days of misery is better if she can have a happy life now for the next 10 years. It's probably worth it.
Yep. So the only thing I am worried about is flies.
Yes.
I'm begging Spalding Labs to send us extra fly predators, and I'm like trying to think of everything because
Oh,
they aren't bad right now. And the first shipment of those fly predators arrived, and the flies had started coming out, and I spread them, and it has decreased it like so much. But the past couple days, I'm starting to notice more. So I don't know. I'm just trying to think of everything I can do. Horse poop is definitely a problem though with flies.
I think I'm going to try. I'll buy a bunch of those little battery operated timed sprayers that spray every 30 minutes.
Yeah,
But I hate the smell of them and I hate the chemicals. But for Lucky's sake and the flies, and what if we got
well,
the
they
weevil
kill.
flies in her wound,
The problem with all that too is that they kill the fly predators also.
Yeah, but
So I don't
oh
know.
well.
And I don't want to. It's if you walk into a barn, it sprays on you. I don't know.
I think we should do it for this year.
You've always talked about this. Yeah, we'll see. And I don't know. There's people asking, do we want to tell them what the foal was?
The foal was
It was a filly.
beautiful
Yeah,
filly.
it was exactly what we had
wanted
been
Palomino filly,
talking about. Yeah,
white back socks.
she looked like the color that Bob was
When he
because
was
we
born,
didn't
so
see her
peach,
whole
yeah.
body. We only saw her feet,
Her legs.
her
Yeah.
legs, and but yeah, she was the same like peachy sorrel looking color that Bob was, but it's actually where she would have been a dark palomino, just like her daddy. So
Yes, we have done the diatomaceous earth for the flies, by the way. Lots of it.
yep. So oh yeah, we have tried
Fly
all sorts
sheets.
of fly
Emery
stuff.
is the world's leading expert in fly sheets. She
Yeah.
takes these big barrels and wraps them and places them, and she
Not
knows where
barrels,
and how to set up.
I know where those stinking flies.
Yeah.
They like to sit in front of the barn all
Emery's a
day.
professional fly trapper.
Well, except that I can't trap them all. Like I know the spots where they're all gonna be. It's awful. I've thought about when the sun shines in the round pen right there where you guys are looking. That is where they absolutely love to be when the sun's right there. So I've thought about going out there before the sun hits it and getting sticky fly paper and covering the whole arena in sticky fly paper.
Yeah. So, and there's other people talking about ducks or chickens to eat the flies. I wanted to do that, but I get to tease my wife here because she has oh my gosh, what would you call it? Just
don't know.
a phobia of birds or anything with
I
feathers.
love birds. I don't love chickens, but I actually do like cute little ducks unless they get me cornered.
Unless they get you cornered.
Yeah. I'm fine with birds, except chickens. I just don't like them. But if one comes, if I think one is coming towards me, or like I or like I don't know
Illogical
one's
fear,
there, and then it's there all of a sudden, or if somebody like corners me with a chicken or something like that, I
One time when
freak
Mary was a little
out.
toddler, she toddled into the chicken coop and fell down. And you know how babies are when they fall down, they cry and want mama to pick them up. Even if they're not hurt, they just don't want to stand back up on their own. They want mama. So the baby walks into the chicken coop and falls down and starts crying. Emery started screaming and crying at the top of her lungs
That was the worst
for her
time frame
baby.
for it, though.
And I'm off on the farm somewhere working, and I hear my wife screaming in the distance, and I come running
Grandpa did too.
from a long ways away
They came
as
running
fast
across
as
the
I
field.
could, running across the field, thinking that something's killed the baby or the house is on fire. Or get there, and if you've ever seen Quigley Down Under with the crazy woman that smothered her baby over the Indians, that's how I felt with my wife right then. I about threw her into the chicken coop.
Mary was just in the chicken coop. But I'm much better than I used to be, though. For the most part, I can, like, be around them. It's just if I'm caught off guard, like the pigeons flying in the barn. Oh my gosh, I almost screamed thinking about it. The other day, did I tell you this? The other day, one of the freaking pigeons was in the bucket. And I was like getting grain out, doing my normal routine, and I didn't know it was there, and then it all of a sudden flew out, and I was there for like a couple minutes, and then all of a sudden flew out, and ugh.
You should see Emery's face right now, just telling this
Well, I'm
story
telling
about a
you.
pigeon.
It was horrible.
Oh.
So when you see the pigeons flying around the barn, know that I do not like them, and I do not want them there at all. We need to put like a net over the doorway, JR, that big net we used to have, because then they couldn't come in anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, and you would think JR would get rid of the pigeons, because like when he's training his horse.
It's good for him.
Me screaming?
Well, no. Yeah. But the pigeon's
he's almost
flapping
got
around.
killed because of me a couple times. One time he was working on Luna, and a pigeon flew at me.
Yeah, that one knocked
It
me
tried to kill
down.
me.
Emery screamed while
I
I was
screamed and
underneath.
ran towards JR and Luna.
Yeah, there was another time that Emery had one of our babies by the hand, and a turkey come around somebody's barn. She slung that kid down on the ground in front of the turkey and ran off.
I didn't
I was
run.
like, crazy Cora, throw your baby down.
I did not run. I just put her in front of me. We have way too many. We need to stop telling these stories.
Yep. So here's another good question. If an embryo transfer is possible, will you use Legacy as a stud? So what I will do is I will buy semen straws from Image's father had semen straws taken. So I don't have any semen straws on Image. I will ask around if anybody does. I don't think he was ever collected. But his father, Southern Sunrise, was. So I will go, which is Southern Sunrise is Legacy's grandpa. So I will use him if at all possible. It'd be pretty awesome.
And just skip legacy.
Yeah, for her, I'm going to breed
Just for her, yeah.
Jessie back to legacy.
Right.
But yeah, no, I'm not going to have legacy collected for that. I don't want to do natural breeding.
Right.
So.
Yep. Anybody have any questions? I mean, I know everybody's been talking, but we can look for some. We need to start a comedy act.
Dude,
No,
somebody
thanks.
says I need to do some desensitizing with Emery.
What?
You have no
No.
idea how much desensitizing I've tried to do with Emery. I bought a chicken hat one time and put the hat on, and I
Oh,
chased
that was
her
just
around the house. She's screaming and breaking glasses and throwing stuff, and I
No.
oh, it was hilarious. I'm very mean.
Whoever said that, that's not funny.
I wish I knew where that hat went. You
Will
tore the leg.
Somebody said, "Will you eat chicken, Emery?" Yes, I eat chicken all the
As
time.
long as it don't have the feathers on it, she's pretty okay with it.
I like all birds though, except I don't like chickens. But I like birds. It's just
If they get too close.
what?
I'm gonna tell them this. No, I don't want to tell them that.
Okay, good.
If I tell, there's one story, everybody, that if I tell, my wife is mad at me for the next 3 days, and we fight.
You've already told that.
Okay.
About
Ooh,
the-
boy, you should see the look she's
About
giving me.
the frogs?
No, this is the worst. There's one story worse than the frog story.
When you didn't come home from work again to help me?
No, worse than
Oh.
that story.
Oh, that one's pretty bad.
The worst story I ever did to Emery.
At the auction?
funniest
At the
one.
auction?
Yeah.
That is not, it's not a good story to tell.
I think you told the story on the video, anyways. Didn't
Yeah, yeah, I did.
you? I don't remember. That was horrible, Jr.
So we were at the
It wasn't funny.
littlest, rinkiest, dinkiest auction house around here. And we were back in the back looking at horses trying to make a video. And there were some chickens walking around, and I don't even notice them because I don't mind chickens. Anyway, Emery, like just random chickens in a barn. If we're walking and we're holding hands and the chickens are on her side, she's going to switch to my other side and hold the other hand and keep me between her and the chickens. She just will do it, and I won't even notice what she's doing. So I noticed she switched and was squeezing my hand a little tight because we were passing the chickens. And I'm like, why is she squeezing my hand so hard? And I look down and I see the chickens. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's scared of the chickens. Okay. Well, then one time she stops, turns around, lets go of my hand and leaves. I'm like, where's she going? She just left me. I look up and there's a little Amish boy holding a chicken right in front of us. So she's seen that because she's super aware of where the chickens are at all time. Like, I don't even notice them, and she's super aware of it. So she left me because that boy had chickens, and I get to laughing and teasing her about it. So she leaves the barn because there's the boy's holding chickens there. So I'm laughing, and I tell the boy, I say, hey, you want to make $5? And
This is not how I remember it. You had told those boys holding
Yeah,
chickens
while
that
you
I
were
was
gone.
scared of it and to get me with the
Yeah.
chickens. So that is why I left the barn that first time.
so I told him how scared she is. I said, I didn't tell them because they may not have done it if I had told them how scared you
No,
are of it
you
because they were
did.
good
You
little
told
boys.
them.
I said, all I want you
I
to
seen
do
the ornery
is when that
glints in
lady
their
that I was
eyes.
with comes back in this aisle, just run straight towards her with that chicken. So she comes back into the long aisle, and it was like a
Jared
so
was much more ornery and meaner than this.
yeah. So
He's
imagine
making himself sound kind of nice.
So imagine this aisle runs from the back stalls all the way into the sale ring, and halfway up that aisle, there's a right-hand lane that people can turn. So she comes out of that lane, and those boys take off towards her with the chicken, and she turns right and heads away from them at a high rate of speed, clouding the area up with heel dust. I mean, she's kicking up the dirt going up that aisle. and she gets to the end of the aisle where the sale ring is, and
It
it
was
doesn't
not
stop
funny.
her. She doesn't slow down a bit. She hits that door to the active auction at 100
was a
miles an
saddle
hour,
auction.
knocks the guy down holding the door shut,
What a
goes right through
superhero.
the ring, through the crowd, through the audience, and out the front door. And the boys only ran about 5 feet towards her. They didn't go all the way up the aisle. They weren't on her heels.
Well,
I
because
said
there
just
was-
go towards her, and
He
she.
had them chase me with it multiple times.
No,
It wasn't just
no,
one
that
time.
is not
They
true.
cornered me.
No, they did not.
They did.
No, you were just imagining what I was going to have them
talking
do.
to them, and they had chickens, and you knew while you were talking to them how scared I was, and I couldn't get out
Yeah,
of there.
and that's all that happened. I talked to him. I hadn't done nothing else.
It's hard for me to laugh about it because then I remember how mad. I've never been so mad in my life. And I sat on the bench back like behind the auction, and there was like this older couple sitting there, and like they kept looking at me because like I'm sure my face was like beet red, and they like could tell, like I guess they could sense like how angry I was, and they kept looking at me, and then they finally got up and walked away. It was awful.
Yeah.
It's not really even, I don't know. I'm not, it doesn't really, it's like funny when I first start thinking about it, but then he tells a story and then I'm just like, ugh.
Well, I think it's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. It was hilarious. If you hadn't like bust through the door into the auction ring and knocked that guy,
I didn't know where else to go.
I mean, that's pretty hilarious.
I didn't know where else
She
to
wouldn't
go.
let me use the footage either on a channel.
Well, the problem is like, I knew JR would like stop probably. But the little boys, like I could tell they thought it was like the best thing in the world, and they were not going to stop chasing me with the chicken.
I think, yeah, maybe. I thought I had told him just to do it a little bit because she's liable to run out in traffic or something, kill herself.
I don't think they were going to stop.
Like,
They thought
if-
it was great.
If a little chicken was after Emery and there was 1,000-foot cliff and she had to face the chicken or jump off the cliff, she'd run off the cliff. There's no question. Like, it's so, yeah.
Maybe. But like grandma has chickens. I walk down there all the time around the chickens and stuff. Just not if they come near me. Actually, she just has ducks now, huh?
Our neighbor has a fear of little people, of dwarfs, people with dwarfism. That's one of the weirdest fears I've ever heard of, because those people can't help that. Like, they're not, and it's like, what in the world? I don't know, but she knows how wrong it is to do it, but she says she just can't help herself. It just, she wants to get away as soon as one approaches her. I don't know. My daughter has a illogical fear just as bad as Emery's, but about frogs.
And JR is so mean to her about it.
Yeah, because it's stupid.
You are not nice. Yeah, but you caused the fear of
No.
the frogs. Yeah, when she was
If-
little, you stuffed frogs in my sister's swimsuits
Yeah, that was
in
hilarious.
front of her, and it terrified her. That's when it started. And we used to have frogs swim in
Becca.
our swimming pool when she was little, and that started it too. But she does need to get over it. I've gotten over my chicken phobia quite a bit.
Yeah. I was a little bit afraid of vacuum cleaners for a while. My mom, yeah, I still don't like them, but I use them. My mom cleaned houses when I was little, and I would go with her to clean the houses. And I've always been a worker, so I would help her. And this is back when in the 80s, when plush carpets were the thing. So if you who remembers having plush carpets back in the day, this is right after shag went out of style, and then the big thick plushes came in. And how you would vacuum them would be, you would go forward and you would come backwards and then go forwards, moving left to right the whole time, making the little V's.
You know how to clean?
And the patterns all had to be the same on the carpet. Y'all remember that? Anyway, I was doing that, and I was right underneath the ceiling fan in the living room of this really nice house we were at, and we had like an industrial vacuum because she cleaned a lot of houses, and I ran over the cord, and the cord got caught up in the brushes and spinner of the vacuum, and I had the coil of the cord in my left hand and the handle in my right hand, and I'm probably, say, 6, 8, I don't know, something like that age frame. And anyway, it electrocuted me,
Oh.
and it shot a spark up through me up into the ceiling fan, and it actually knocked out the light in the ceiling fan. So I mean, it was like a big blue flash, and I felt the flash in my eyes and in my mouth and everything, and then it finally tripped the breaker. And yeah, so I did not like vacuums for years. And actually, even with all of our little kids, we had a thing called the mommy monster. Whenever Emery would turn on the vacuum cleaner, we would scream, jump up and run and hide underneath the covers. And I'd have all 3 of the kids underneath there
No, yeah, that's
whenever the vacuum cleaner would go on. But yeah. But I'm over it now. I'm not scared of them.
Do you remember that, Isaac? Go get the vacuum cleaner. Let's see if he's over it.
They say now they know what was wrong with you, JR. That's
That's what I was thinking.
if you only knew how many times I've hurt myself or something.
So there's a few people saying Jessie did something a little bit ago, but I don't. I mean, she's just moving around and stuff. She. I mean, at this point, you know, when you're this pregnant, you're like uncomfortable and all that stuff. Or and of course she could be in labor and, you know, but I don't think she is. She
Have-
still has some progress to make before she go into labor. She looked like she was stretching. Yeah, I think so too. Does Jessie have wax? No, she doesn't have wax. We would let you know if she did, for sure.
Why did the
with
chicken cross the
Chantilly-
road to get to Emery?
With Chantilly, she waxed up the night before she had her, because we thought that night we were like out in the barn riding, doing stuff, and we thought, and she had wax, so we thought she was gonna have her that night. And she was like super loose in the back end, but it was 24 hours later before she had Chantilly. I know that. We are all going to send vacuums to JR. Sounds good to me.
Mom, why don't say that?
I got over my vacuum fear, but I'm just saying the closest thing I could ever equate it to. Because I never did. I just always just don't like them now. But
Somebody has asked this a million times, or a few times, and it's, how are Jessie and Champ related? No, was that what you guys
Jessie
said?
and Champ are mother and son.
Champ and Lucky. I can't. Champ and Lucky related. How are
well, Jessie is 100% Lucky's sister, same mother and father, so she's basically genetically the same as Champ's mother.
So
she's
she's
her
Champ's aunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's Champ's aunt.
But for breeding wise, it's just too close for my comfort. There's a lot of people that like to inbreed,
Lisa
but I don't do it.
Ortno. Hi, Lisa.
Lisa, did you remember when I got electrocuted when I was a kid from the vacuum cleaner? I mean, she wasn't there that day, but
So Lisa is JR's sister. She's here in the live with us. JR needs to tell the truth about who cleaned his room when he was a little kid.
that's true. My sister did all my homework and cleaned my room,
Yep.
but I did go
She
clean
still
with my
comes
mom.
and cleans for him. She cleaned up the barn the other day and did our dishes for us. It was super sweet. And Lisa, her horse Tootsie Roll is going to be the next mare to foal after Jessie. So Lisa, she's due end of April into May. Is that right? Probably we'll have it I don't know, second week of May or something, first week.
Yeah, and that will be a full sibling to Boots, so the same cross, Tootsie Roll and Bob.
Right.
So
And so Tootsie is a bay mare. We need to go get a video so you guys can see her. She's really pregnant, but she's a bay mare. So Boots is well, we've never got him color tested, so he would either have to be a smoky black or a bay black. Is that what they would call it?
Yeah.
A dark bay, basically,
Yeah.
that looks black. So she could have
She could
that
have.
again. She could have. Could she have Palomino?
I don't
Palomino?
think she could have a Palomino because
Buckskin.
well, the bay is a red gene. He could throw the cream gene. Yeah, she could have a
Right.
Palomino, a buckskin, a
Red.
bay, a
She
red,
has lots of
or a
options.
black.
But we've never got her color tested either, so we don't 100% know. But that is kind of what we think. We have 3 bay mares that are due this year, so we're hoping one of them has a buckskin, and I have a feeling it's going to be Lady, but we'll see if I'm right.
That'd be awesome.
Lady's sire was a... Wait, no. Was that right? Her sire was a buckskin? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Now I'm getting confused. I don't know if that's right or not.
What colors are you hoping for? So we're always hoping for Palominos and buckskins because ultimately this is a horse farm.
I like
meaning
these.
we have to sell horses to pay the bills,
Or-
and those colors bring the most money. For myself in particular, I go my grandpa's motto is the best color is due, meaning what a horse can do in its performance. So he didn't care what color they were; he cared how much ability they have, and I feel the same way. That's why Champ is my favorite horse, is because he has the most ability, not because he's a Palomino or dappled or something pretty, you know.
Right.
But that being said, if you have a sorrel horse that's the best horse in the world and you're trying to sell it for a trail horse, it will bring less money than a mediocre horse that has flashy color. So
Hey, what color was Bernadette's siren dam? What color?
Bernadette's mother was a
Champagne.
Cremello or a Champagne.
Right, and
Yeah.
then her sire.
Her sire was a bay.
Right. Oh, that's right. Oh, we got her color tested, so we know.
Yeah.
And so she has. Oh, I'd have to give that back out. But buckskin. It was buckskin, bay, and there was one more color. What was it? I can't remember. The chance of her having a buckskin is actually pretty high, though.
Yeah, we'd have to have Michelle Elrod get on the chat
Right.
to tell us all the colors that we can get, because I don't pay that awful close attention to it because I don't care that much for myself. The only reason I try to breed a little bit for color is because, like I said, they'll bring a lot more money when they have some chrome on them or some color to them, you know, once they're finished. But I'm in it for the long haul and for finished products. Yeah, we can get ready to. Oh yeah, it's 10:30.
Yeah. That's what I said.
It's probably about time to.
Well, plus, my phone doesn't last much longer. We've been over
Yep.
an hour, so I think we're gonna go ahead and get off of here because we knew Jesse wasn't in labor. We just wanted to jump on here and chat with everything that has happened. So
Yeah,
Right.
there's people talking about cremellos they want a lot and saying they would want that. A lot of people don't want cremellos because they aren't supposed to be in full sunlight all the time. The pink around their eyes and around their muzzle and stuff can get irritated and sunburns and stuff like that. Plus, they're always dirty. They always look dirty. No matter, like, you clean them, give them a bath, 5 minutes later, they're going to have a stain on them. So cremellos are hit and miss. Some people
We had a
will,
beautiful one
Some
that one
people will
time.
buy them. Some people won't.
okay,
Okay.
Every time I say we're gonna get off NJR talks, that's kind of the endings of our lives. Are you good, or you have something else?
Well, I'm watching, see if anything catches my eye. Yeah, I'm ready to go to
Okay,
bed.
we're gonna get off. We're gonna go to bed. We don't have to stay up and watch tonight that much, and so thank you for jumping on. and just supporting us and being here with us. We appreciate you all.
Good night.
I gotta figure out how to end it. Hold on. I always have something in the way.